Greetings, everyone. Thank you very much for the introduction. My name is Brett Ashcroft-Green, Director with Asia Pacific Markets with U.S. Immigration Fund. Before we get started, I have Akshat Gupta. He's our local business director here. He has flyers of our EB5 project. If you'd like one, he'll be passing through. He can give you one. But the current project that we're offering is Phase 5 of the WAVE, being done by Kushner Corporation. They're a very well-known East Coast-based real estate developer. So firstly, just for our team being here for 10 years, we're very experienced. Most of the people that work in our company have been around that long since we began in 2012. We have compliance and oversight, not just by ourselves, but also third party. In EB5, the program in general also is being now overseen by the SEC. They do site visits to the actual EB5 projects for diligence purposes to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do every year. So just in general, EB5 investors now have far more protection after some of the new legislation that passed just this last March. And then technology-wise, we have investor portals on our website for all investors. They can access the specific documents that pertain to them and what they've invested in. And then we also have, a team to do global outreach to clients whenever they have questions about their project. Okay. So as far as our track record goes, the development partners we've been involved with, they have 50 years of experience. We, as an EB5 firm, we've actually raised funds from 5,000 investors. We've been able to help contribute $14 billion in development in the U.S. economy. The amount of capital we've actually raised and deployed has been close to $3 billion US. And at this point, we're almost up to $1 billion in repaid capital to the investors as well. I-526, if you're not aware of EB5, it kind of happens in two stages. First, you get a temporary green card. The I-526 phase, we have nearly 5,000 approvals there. And then the I-829 phase is when we actually prove that the products you're invested in created the necessary 10 jobs per investor. We're getting close to 1,000 investors in that category as well. Let's see, there we go. So now getting into the project, Pier Village. See, I got to figure out where I'm pointing this at. Is it this way? The computer's over there? Okay. Okay, So that was just kind of a video overview of the Long Branch area where this project is being developed. It's being done by Kushner Companies. They are a partner from our previous EB5 ventures that they've been very successful raising and deploying EB5 capital with. They're a 40-plus year company. They're a family company, so this is a family-owned business. They have a portfolio of real estate that spans 25,000 rental properties, 2.2 million square feet of retail, 5 million plus square feet of office, 579 hotel keys, and it's worth roughly 15 billion US dollars. So this is one of our larger family-based US real estate developers in the US. And again, past successful experience with EB5 Capital. We did a raise with them back around 2014. Completed the project, they were able to sell it, the EB5 investors got their green cards and they were able to pay the capital back. So this is a very trusted partner of ours, and we're very happy to bring another EB5 project of theirs to market. So just a little bit about the Long Branch area and the economics of it. It's very close to New York City for those who have been in the area. It's part of the New York City Metro. It's about an hour from New York, 1.5 hours if you're going west to Philadelphia, and 45 minutes to Jersey City, which is really a commuter point between Manhattan and New Jersey. So the area has seen a lot of investment recently, $1 billion in recent private investment, 37 million in federal projects, so the government is focusing heavily on this Long Branch area to stimulate the economy as well. And especially in the summertime, this is a very attractive place for tourism. It's also one of the most attractive places to live or visit within New Jersey. So all around, it's a very feasible area from an economics perspective. So this is phase 5 of the Pier Village project that already exists. So they've already built 4 phases up to here. This particular component is going to have a 107-key hotel. It's going to include spa and indoor pool. Some of the pools are actually going to face a terrace and face the ocean as well, lounge, fitness center, etc. It's going to be synergistic with phase 4. So there's already an existing resort on the property, 67 keys, event space, other F&B offerings. Part of the actual operational costs will be shared between the two as well, so it's synergistic. And the reason why they're building another hotel in addition to this one is because there is so much demand for the hotel in this area. They needed to build another one. The actual capital stack of the EB5 project, the developer sponsor in this, they're contributing 22% of the total capital being raised. EB5 contributions are roughly 30 million. The senior lender is at 62 million for a total capital stack of just over 118 million US dollars. Job creation, for those not familiar with EB5, this is the paramount and most important part of the entire program. Really the only thing the USCIS wants to see and evaluate when you're applying for these green cards, are you providing the jobs that they're required for the EB5 visa program? So in the industry, we call this a buffer, a job creation buffer. In this project, we have 38 investors. We need to create at least 380 jobs. And in this one, the job creation is almost going to be double at 375 excess. And when you're involved in commercial construction projects like this, you basically just have to provide evidence of the input the developer is putting into this project as far as their capital contribution versus proving actual numbers of workers on the site. So it's very beneficial, and these kind of investments can really only be accessed through regional centers that are approved to pool capital together and act as a lender to these developers. There's not really any other way to access construction projects in EB5. So as I said, phase 1, 2, 3, and 4, they're complete. Construction of this particular phase that we're offering for EB5 is expected to begin in the first quarter of next year and be complete by 2025. We also have a third party that'll be doing the monitoring of the construction. So as for the exit strategy in this project, we do have third-party appraisals. After the hotel is built and being rented out, it should stabilize at a value of roughly 151 million. So it'll be, well in excess of the amount of capital spent to build this project. Exit strategies in almost all these EB5 projects is very similar. It's either going to be selling a portion of the equity in the project to repay these investors, or it's going to be some sort of a refinance. So when they start out, these are all going to be situations where they have a construction loan, and then once they have collateral and they've built the project, they can refinance that into a long-term loan and cash out all of the previous investors that are in the project. So why choose this project? Number one, fast. It's in a targeted employment area in the United States, so there is a visa set aside for this category. If you're investing in this, there shouldn't be a wait list, regardless of the country that you hail from. It's also a project that only has a 36-month borrow term, so that's also fast. They're not planning on keeping the money outstanding for an extremely long amount of time. Again, as I discussed, we have compliance and monitoring of this project. We do a lot of oversight of the developer. The developer has a very proven track record. They've done EB5 before successfully, returned investor capital successfully, and those investors have gotten their green card successfully as well. This is an additional phase of a successful and existing project, so we're just adding capacity onto something that already has a large amount of demand. So the economics, regardless of what the economy is doing, this is surrounded by affluency. There should be demand for the hotels regardless of what the economy is doing. Location, again, as we said, very strong. I-956 has been filed already for this project. That's the new form that's required to be filed on behalf of all EB5 projects after the new legislation for EB5 was passed in March, so we've already done that. Job creation, again, that buffer is basically double what you need to create in EB5. So that's basically saying if there's any shortfall in construction spending that doesn't match up with the number of investors, there is an ample buffer there to protect the investors in case the amount of expense is not used as stated in the capital stack. There's a personal guarantee also from the developer. So outside of the project, they're offering a guarantee to the senior lender in this project. In case anything were to come up, it'd basically just be, the investors for EB5 that would be having claim to the project. There's a construction completion guarantee once all capital has been capitalized in the project to make sure that regardless of anything that might happen along the way, that this project will be completed. And then the clear exit strategy, it's similar to all the other EB5 projects we've done in this industry, raising $3 billion. These large commercial projects are very easy to refinance once they've been completed. Just have to complete the collateral. That's all they have to do. And then a very important thing that we're offering here that we hope is a pretty unique product in the market. We are personally offering to investors $300,000 of their $800,000 necessary to invest in the project as a loan from us to the investors directly. So we understand everyone's economic situation is different, and we understand investors may have stuff that is both liquid and illiquid. Some investors are more illiquid than others, so not even just based on what your own personal financial situation looks like, it might be more feasible for you to take a loan rather than liquidate a property, let's say. With the current situation in the world, property market might not be the most ideal to sell something, so that's an option. And as far as the interest payments to be made on that, you could either pay them on an annual basis, you can cash out when you want, or you could pay no interest payments and have that accrue and be taken out of your principal upon return of the capital. So a lot of options, very unique. And I know especially for, let's say, India, for instance, there's a limitation for a couple of 500,000 exiting the country per annum. So that puts you right at that limit of 500,000, and the remainder 300,000 we can make the capital contribution on your behalf as a loan. So please talk to us about that if you're interested in that as well. All right, so please scan our QR code for more information, and thank you for visiting today. And if you have any further questions, I'd be delighted to take those as well.